Guys, good morning, good afternoon. Sorry, I somehow thought I was trading London. Give me a second, let me get the Zoom running here. I think this is a bit loud. Yeah, that will work. All right, so this is just a lookout webinar to see what we're looking out on gold and GBP JPY for the week. Usually, I don't trade on Mondays and on Fridays, but we'll do a weekly lookout, and on Fridays we'll also do a recap. We'll do a recap of how the week went by. All right. So we opened the week with a bullish candle with no bottom wick. Very interesting. We opened with no bottom wick here on the weekly. All right. So let's see what the daily has done. Yeah, on the daily we also have the same thing. No bottom wick on this daily, no bottom wick on the weekly candle. But ideally, this daily candle and this weekly candle that started today, it needs to have a bottom wick. Now look at how the candle from Friday closed. It closed without a top wick. Now the new candle of the new week opened without a bottom wick. Two very irregular candles, closure and opening. All right. So, but basically we have this 5,000 area and eventually to this week 5,600 area for we to push into if we'll continue bullish. All right. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame. On the 4 hours time frame, we have created our zones. All right. We have, this is the most recent resistance, and we'll see around this area for support on the smaller time frames. But basically, based on the 4 hours time frame, this is the resistance that we've created, that if maybe broken, we could potentially continue pushing towards 5,200 area or sort. All right, so let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we can now readjust these zones. This is the most recent resistance based on the 1 hour now, right? Even though that we'll have this resistance here also, so we'll have to measure this range. This is about 100 pip range, right? So if we are closing above this most recent resistance, then we'll have this 100 pip move here to push into. But now, yeah, it is 100 pip range, but it is in an overall range that I might not be comfortable in trading in. This is the overall range. All right, now inside this overall range here, trying to take a buy there might really be a very delicate thing to do. All right, so what do I propose? I think since it's Monday, we're just doing a lookout. I don't basically trade on Mondays. It's me looking at, okay, let's see what we'll have for this week. I think anybody looking for a trade should please wait until this range here is broken. This is the range I would 100% wait for this range here to be broken. Then if this range here is broken, only then would I look for a trade. This is going to be like a 300 pip range that I'm not interested in. All right, I'm not interested in this 300 pip range here. But the week is bullish. The week is bullish. It's just that the way the weekly candle opened without a bottom wick, we might really get some sort of rejections, maybe today, tomorrow, we don't know, before we continue pushing to fill this week here. If actually we'll do that this week, we're not even sure of that. And also, we are heading towards the end of the month. This monthly candle has about 4 days. Basically, it's towards the end of the month, towards Friday, the end of the week, actually. So it's something to be very, very careful of at that point. All right. So if you're looking at trading gold for today, I think this is the range that you have. Sales is going to be very, very tricky. If not, I will say maybe if we're closing bullish on any candle here and the next candle should, you know, close below that bullish candle, which is not a new support, then you could have a drive in this range here, about 200 pip range. Apart from that, I will say wait for this range here to be broken. That is what makes sense to me today on gold. But looking at this area, maybe if we go to the 15 minutes candle, 15 minutes time frame, yeah, we have this range now. All right, but now inside these clean candles here, these 3 bullish clean candles, I am not comfortable trading in this range. That is the only reason. All right, anybody could say, okay, if we close below here, then we could eventually keep pushing down in this. I think it's about 100 and something pips. Yeah, 200 pips range. All right, yeah, it makes sense if you get a candle closure. Then if volume is there, then you could easily get that 200 pips. But apart from that, you just have to sit on your hands and then do nothing until this range is broken. That's what makes sense to me. Right, let's look at Forex Factory before we go into what's it called, GBP JPY. Let's look at Forex Factory. Let's see what we have for the week. Today is Monday. We'll have JPY banking holiday, Chinese banking holiday. Okay, nothing here. On Tuesday we have consumer confidence. Basically, I've not seen this move the market a lot. Wednesday, AUD CPI. We don't trade AUD. Thursday, unemployment claims by 2:30. And we'll have PPI on Friday. So on Friday we'll not be even trading. So I think we'll have a very clean week here. We'll have a very, very clean week. Let's look at GJ. GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Let's remove all analysis here. The weekly candle on GBP JPY, the weekly candle closed, the last week candle closed bullish with a small bodied candle, but we cannot pay no attention to that. We have to take that into consideration, that we are creating support in this bullish trend based on the weekly candle. All right, based on the weekly charts. So we've created a support. This current weekly candle has wicked down, breaking, flipping bullish. Basically, we should continue pushing to the upside. We don't know, but let's go down to the smaller time frames and see. On the 4 hours time frame, we have the most recent resistance. Let me use this because this is a very high time frame, and we are creating a very big range based on the 4 hours time frame. This is a very big range. All right, so you could get, trust me, you could get stuck in this range. Let's see the 1 hour. Yeah, you could get stuck in this range. But based on this 1 hour time frame, if we mirror down our analysis down, we have created the most recent support right there and the most recent resistance based on the 1 hour time frame. So this is what I am going to use to identify what I might be doing with GJ here, right? So this is the most recent support that if a candle is closing below here, then we have this entire range here to get filled. Or if we break above there, we also have this range here to get filled. That is the only thing I'm looking out for here today on GJ. If eventually I have to take a trade on GJ. Alright. So break below this area, we'll have this, 50 pip range. And a break above here is also a very, 40 pip thereabouts range for which to move into. But now, looking at how the 4 hours candle is currently bearish, even though the last 2 4 hours candles was bullish, I still don't want to take sales yet, because this candle might just be making a lower wick for it to flip bullish to continue to the upside. But based on the 30 minutes time frame, we might, maybe with volume we might close below, then we'll have a drop towards 208 at that point. We'll see. We don't know yet. We'll see. For gold needs to have a closure here for we to push down in this range, but I'm not very sure. It has to be below 5,123 area. It has to be below here. If there's any reason for me to sell gold. So if you guys have any question, if you have any currency you want me to look at, just put it in the chat and we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Let's see what my friend here is looking at today.
Can you relate? You Googled everything, trying to find the best ways to teach your kids math, but your kids just aren't interested. Instead of sifting through endless
Whatever stop
Yeah,
loss you just like getting there, just like choose that lot size actually.
he's still
These
he's
days, no
still
one can like
waiting for that
fix
area
one
now.
lot size because sometimes you're just like going to be get 35 40 pip stop loss, and sometimes you're just like going to be get 80 pip stop loss.
Yep. Well, that is basically it for this Monday. Nothing is going on here now. Nothing, downside for this weekly here to make a lower week. But that's basically it. I'm not looking for sales unless maybe we close below this area. These sales could work, but it could be tricky also. Break and close below this area, then we'll have this 200 pip here range. But this 200 pip range, I don't know what might happen in this area. All right. So basically, for me to look for sales is that I'm closing below 5,120 area for we to have a bit of correction towards 5,000 area flat. Apart from that, the sales on gold is going to be very dangerous. For buys, I'm not even looking for buys until we break and we close above 5,176, 175 area. That is what makes sense for buys for me. So you guys be careful, be um be careful, basically manage your risk. Gold is now very, very, very volatile. do not allow God to, take your money away from you. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, London section, 7 a.m. 8 a.m. GMT. 8 a.m. GMT London section. I'll see you guys. Until then, adios. Have a good one.